Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Today, we're getting into one of the more hot topics within Warzone and the Call of Duty community, but especially hot this year because with Modern Warfare 2 and with Warzone 2, or just Warzone now, they made a deliberate change with gameplay that honestly completely alienates one specific type of player base and creates a very distinct disadvantage for them. So as we get into the details here today, quick reminder, if you are new here, every single day I got you covered with all things going on in COD, news, updates, meta breakdowns, you name it, it's all here. So feel free to hit that subscribe button and turn on those post notifications. And if you enjoy the video, do me a favor, drop a like on it. Would be seriously appreciated as well. But today's initial discussion really stems from this clip that's been going around from Shroud. If you don't know who Shroud is, guys, one of the greatest FPS players in the history of the genre. And the other day on his stream, someone in his chat asked him why he doesn't play Warzone. Obviously, it's a big popular thing. It's Call of Duty. It's always going to draw some attention here. And basically his answer, long story short here, is that he's a keyboard and mouse player. Warzone and MW2 absolutely have created a disadvantage for keyboard and mouse players because the game is so cluttered. Basically, whenever you shoot, your screen is a mess. The quote that I paused on here, I think, is perfect. He says, you're not going to see anything. And this really is, it's a problem that's exclusive to Warzone, DMZ, and MW2 this year. This has not existed back in, MW 2019 and Warzone 1, Cold War, Vanguard, even dating back to the older CODs. It's a thing this year specifically. And basically, we're talking about what's going on your screen when you are shooting. We know that the visual recoil in MW2 is a lot more noticeable than that of MW 2019, Warzone 1, even more than MW3 from what we've seen so far. And with this, there's also added on top random shake here and there. The aiming stability and sway in this game is a bit more noticeable than in years past. And you also have visual smoke and other stuff that's blocking your view. Meaning, if you're a keyboard and mouse player, you have all this going on, it's even harder to stay on target, whereas controller players get the benefit of aim assist. Obviously, everyone who plays on controller is probably aware of this, and especially everyone who plays on keyboard and mouse is aware of this. In recent years, aim assist has seemed to become a bit more broken and cheesy because of this thing called rotational aim assist, which is where every time you're moving, you're using your left thumbstick on your controller, the aim assist is going to feel a bit stronger. When you're moving backwards, forwards, left to right, it doesn't matter. You'll have more of a drag with your aim assist that helps you stay on target. And then you stack on things like changing your aim assist type. Black Ops this year and default are very strong. Precision and focusing, at least to me, feel a bit awkward, but regardless, it's still a very cheesy system. And again, more so this year than ever, rotational aim assist and how it functions is very much so overpowered. Now, it was strong back in Warzone 1. It's been strong in COD for a while because COD at its core is primarily a controller game, but ultimately, it's really, really dominant this year. And then you factor in what Shroud was talking about with the visual clutter, and you have a distinct disadvantage in fights if you are a keyboard and mouse player. When we go in the firing range here, this really exemplifies it, but I also want to look at it in game as well. But when you are firing your gun, I mean, we all know, look at the visual smoke that is there coming right off the iron sights there from the muzzle. It's even there when I'm reloading, which, I mean, the animation, it's cool, it's pretty, the realism factor is nice. The competitiveness factor, though, is drastically taking away fairness in gunfights. You can see when you shoot and you hold down that trigger, the smoke is clear, it is obvious, it is obnoxious. It's gonna hurt your ability to stay on target over range. You can even see it here when you're shooting dummies. They're like very clear right now. When I'm looking at my iron sights, I can see the dummy very clearly. They sort of start to blend in when the smoke comes up. And I mean, it's still easy to shoot the dummies in the firing range. They're not moving, they're a standstill target, right? But in game, it's tricky as well. Now in game, the smoke admittedly is a little bit less obnoxious, but then outside of the smoke, you start to see that, wait, my gun is also very wonky as well. Now, certain maps and certain engagements will highlight visual smoke and visual clutter more. Like right now here on shipment, it's not bad. Like you can actually see straight decently, but then you factor in, look at what my iron sights and look at what my gun here is doing as I'm spraying. It bounces a lot. There's a lot of left, right, up, down, very sporadic movement there when I'm shooting, which is another visual thing, basically. The pattern itself, it's very straightforward. It's pretty much straight vertical, for instance, on the Hemlock here, but as you're shooting, the gun's going up, down, left, right, up, down, all over the place, right? Again, the visuals there, the clunkiness of them and how much clutter there is makes it difficult to track somebody who's moving left to right and stay on target. When your screen is bouncing, you don't have that clear visual sight confirmation on an enemy. You factor in the smoke. Sometimes there's a lot of things that are pointing towards, yes, the realism factor of gunfights, but not the competitive side of it whatsoever. However, controller gets to basically bypass that. Even though you might not be able to visually see somebody moving from left to right here crossing over, with controller as you're moving there, your aim assist drag and your aim assist slowdown is going to be enough to help keep you on target, whereas someone on keyboard and mouse has to manually work to stay on that target the entire time because of the lack of aim assist. Now, I do want to make it very important and very apparent here that aim assist and recoil control are two different things. Aim assist does not affect a recoil pattern. If I shoot the sack in here and I see its general recoil pattern going a little bit up and to the left there, that's going to be the same whether I'm on keyboard and mouse or controller in a gunfight. That pattern's going to stay the same. However, the slowdown and how consistent it is to actually follow a target is what the major difference is there, and that's already overpowered enough as is for controller. You then factor in the updates that MW2 and Warzone 2 have brought into it with the visual shake here where my sight's not even clear as I'm shooting there. You factor in the smoke and all the other clutter that's on your screen, and you get a situation that absolutely 10 times out of 10 times favors controller players and creates this huge advantage for them and a very big disadvantage for keyboard and mouse. So it is a system that is absolutely flawed for sure, and something that Shroud points out here as why he just doesn't play the game anymore. Going forward, COD's definitely going to want to pay attention to this stuff. Otherwise, they are basically saying to one portion of the player base, definitely not the majority, because, you know, controller is the more casual input, and that's why it's favored, obviously. But you're saying to one player base, yeah, if you want to be competitive, you have to work extra hard. You have to do more just to be able to compete, which is definitely a very strange system, and one, like I said numerous times, is flawed. So it's a very broken mechanic. Hopefully, though, moving forward, you know, into MW3, Sledge usually has lower visual recoil, lower clutter. From what we've seen of MW3 already is a lot more similar to MW 2019, so that change could already be coming here in just a few months' time. That is going to wrap things up for this one, a discussion that I really haven't talked about much here on the channel this year. Like, we're not really getting into the aim assist conversations all that much, but this is something that I definitely wanted to point out because I've seen you guys talking about it in the comments saying, hey, it's pretty unfair right now, and it's only getting worse this year, essentially, it seems, you know, with all the clutter and with everything favoring controllers so heavily. But that'll do it for this video. If you enjoyed it, do me a favor, drop a like on it. And if you're new here, feel free to hit that subscribe button on your way out as well. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I will catch you guys later. Peace out.